Hello students, in the last session we have discussed classes. There we have studied how we create class in Java and how data fields and methods are declared inside the class. In today's session we will discuss creating objects. So let's start. As mentioned previously, a class provides the blueprint for objects. So basically an object is created from a class. So class is like a blueprint or a type, and once we define the type we can create any number of objects or any number of variables of that particular type. First we'll see how to create an object in Java. So an object in Java is essentially a block of memory that contains space to store all instance variables. So whenever we create an object of a class, it assigns a block of memory which stores all the variables of that particular class. Objects in Java are created by using a new operator. So objects in Java, it is created by using new operator. So here we have an example how an object can be created in Java. So the example is rectangle rect semicolon. This is a declaration of an object which is almost similar to a declaration of a variable. So this is rectangle is our type and rect is our variable, or in Java we call it as object, and rectangle is a class. Then the next step is instantiate or instantiating the object. So we have two steps for creating an object. First is declaration and second is instantiation. The instantiation, here it is the object name, that is rect, which we have declared in the earlier step, is equals to the new operator and then the constructor name rectangle. Again it has round bracket open and round bracket close. So this is how an object is created in Java. First declaration and then instantiation. Okay, the same thing has been demonstrated by using a diagram here. So we have action in the first section, then statement, a Java statement, and the result of that statement. So first action, it is declare or declaration. So as we have seen in that example, declaration is rectangle rect. So we have declared an object of type class rectangle. Now what is the result of this? When we declare an object, this rect which we have declared here will have a value that is null. It will have a value null. So whenever you declare any object, by default that object will have a value null. Null means no value, you can say. Then second is instantiation or instantiate, that is the object name rect is equals to new rectangle, that is again constructor, or you can say for now class name. And when you say rect is equals to new rectangle, or when you use a new operator at the time of instantiation, earlier this rect was having null, but now that rect is pointing to a memory location, and this memory location is for rectangle object. So when you instantiate an object, at that time memory is allocated to that object. See, when we declare an object, no memory is allocated to the object. The object simply has a value that is null. But when we instantiate an object, a memory is allocated and our reference variable rect points to that particular memory. So rect is a reference to rectangle object. Remember this rect which we have created here, it is simply a reference variable. It is like a pointer which is pointing to an actual memory location where we are going to store all our values. So this is how an object is created. So let's see this with an example. We have already created one class. In the last session we have seen how a class is created. Let's create an object for that particular class. Okay, so let me open Notepad. I'll open Notepad++. Okay, this is the last class, last example where we have seen how a class is declared in Java. So we have a class rectangle with some data fields. There are two variables, length and width, and there are two methods also, get data and rect area. So this is our class with some data value and methods. So let me create one more class, say object demo, and this will be our main class. So we will be having here public static void main string of args. So this is our main class which contains the main method. Now we have a class rectangle, and this class rectangle, it behaves like a template, or it behaves like a data type, and we can create any number of variables of type rectangle. Now how these variables or objects can be created? So as we have seen the syntax of object creation in the example, first thing while creating an object is the name of the class for which we are creating an object. Now we want to create an object of rectangle, so I'll say rectangle, then the name of an object. See, name of an object can be any name, like we create variables of a particular type, say integer, float, and variable name can be any name. Same way here, object name can be any name, so I'll say rect and then semicolon. So this is a declaration of an object. As I've said, declaration simply assigns a value null to this variable rect, and rect is said to be a reference variable. It is like a pointer. Now when I instantiate it, when I say rect is equals to new rectangle, at this particular time the memory is allocated to the object, and this rect will point to that particular memory. So this is how an object is created. So we have created an object rect of type rectangle. Now once you create an object, as I've said, the memory is allocated to that object. Okay, let's go back to the PPT. So this is about creating an object. Next is accessing class members. So only creating an object is of no use. We even want to access the class members. Class members means the variables which are declared in the class or the methods which have been declared in the class. Now we should assign values to variables in order to use them in our program. all variables must be assigned values before they are used in programs. To assign values, we must use the concerned object. We have to use the concerned object and the dot operator as shown in the below example. Now, how we can access the variables and methods defined in the class? For that, we have to use first the object name, then the operator. Here it is used, it is dot, then the variable name which you are accessing, then equals to the value which you want to assign to the variable. Same way, even a method can be accessed. Object name dot the method name. Again, if that method is taking any parameters, you need to pass the parameters. Now let's see the same thing with the example which we have written. Okay, so here we have created an object rect. Now let's store some value in the variables, that is length and width, which have been defined in the rectangle class. To store some value into length and width, we have to use an object, that is rect. Rect dot dot length then is equals to value which we want to assign to the length. Same way, we can access the second variable defined in class rectangle by using an object rect dot width is equals to say 20. So this is how the variables defined in the class rectangle can be accessed. And to access those variables, one important thing to remember, we need a object. Once you have an object of that class, you can access the variables and methods. Now we have accessed the variables. Now let's say I want to calculate the area of rectangle. So to calculate area of rectangle, I may use the method that is rect area. So I'll say int of a is equals to rect dot, the method name is rect area. So this is how we can access a method, or we can call a method defined in a class by using its object. So object is rect dot, method is rect area, and then you can print the value of rectangular area by using system.out.print ln. You can print a. Now if you look at the class rectangle, in the class rectangle we have one more method called as get data. Again, if you look at this method get data, it is taking two values and it is assigning those values to length and width. Means we can even call a method that is get data to assign values to length and width instead of directly assigning values to length and width. So here we have assigned values to length and width directly, but instead of directly assigning, we can even write the same thing by using or by calling a method that is get data, and to this get data we can pass 10, 20. Again, when we say get data, so we are passing 10 and 20, that will be stored in x and y, and x will be assigned to length, that means 10 will be assigned to length, and y, that is 20, will be assigned to width. Even in this way we can assign the values. So this is how we can declare a class, we can create an object, and we can access the properties of a class by using its object. Okay, let me save this program and let me show you the output of this program as well. Okay, I'll save the program first. Okay, while saving, it is important that you have to save your program by using a class name. Now you may say you may have a confusion now because we have two classes, one class rectangle and another class that is object demo. Now you may say which class name we have to use to save a program, because in earlier cases we had a single class, so there it was no problem, but here we are having two classes. Now we have to always save our Java program with a class name which contains the main method. So if you look at these two classes, which class contains the main method? The class 2, that is object demo, contains our main method, and this is our main class. That is the reason we have to save our program with object demo, not with rectangle. So let's save object demo.java. Okay, the program is saved. Let's compile and execute. To compile and execute, we will open CMD. So the program is saved in F, so I'll move to F, then Java C, name of the program .java. Okay, there is one error at line number 28. Error is semicolon missing. It is showing some help about the error. So let's go back to line number 28. So here it is, and we will give a semicolon over there. So what we have done here is we are calling a method there, so we need round bracket open and close. So rect area is method. Okay, then again go back and compile. Okay, we have compiled it successfully. Let's execute. Okay, now look at the output. The output is 200. So it is simply, you can see, rect area calculates area by multiplying length into width. Our length is 10 and width is 20. So 10 into 20, that is 200. That is returned from here and which is stored in A, and we are printing A, means it will print 200, and that is our output. Okay, I hope you understood how we define a class and how we can create an object of that class and how we can access the data fields and methods defined in the class. Okay, one more thing here, as I've said, we can create any number of objects of a class. So here we have created one object, that is rect. Say we want to create one more object, so I'll create one more object here. So rectangle rect. Now the new object name, I'll say rect1. We cannot have two objects in the same scope with the same name. We should have a different name for the object. So first object is rect, second is rect1. So I'll say rect1 is equals to new rectangle. Then we have assigned values to x and y defined in the object rect by using get data. Same way I can say rect1 dot get data, and the values, say I'll say 5 and 6. Okay, so we have called rect1 dot get data with values 5 and 6. So let's calculate the area. I'll say int of b is equals to rect1 dot rect area. So one thing to remember here is whenever we create an object, a memory is created for that object, and that memory contains all the instance variables and methods. And every object which we create that contains or that has a separate memory, or separate memory is allocated to every object. The same memory is not utilized or not used by all the objects. So That is the reason every object will have its own set of variables and methods. So here we have called rect area, rect1 dot rect area, and then you can print say B. Okay, let us execute and see the output. Okay, the first output is 200 and the second, the output, that is B, that is 30. So this is how we can create any number of objects. So here in this example program we have created two objects, and these two objects, rect and rect1, is having its own set of length and width and get data and rect area. So rect1 is having length, width, get data and rect area. Same way rect1 is also having length, width, get data and rect area of its own. So both of these objects are having separate memory locations, and these objects have its own set of instance variables and methods. Okay, I hope you understood how we can create more than one objects of a class in Java. With this, we will stop today. Thank you.